actually. And, when H.P. Blavatsky started it, you might consider her the trunk of the tree. And Judge branch, which were here trees.
Mm.
And so I see that as a metaphor for how the Theosophical movement, and I say the movement, will proceed. We each have a part to play that's unique and at the same time connected to everyone else. So a big word for my husband and I has always been networking. And I was thinking of the Indian imagery of Indra's net, which is this networking sort of idea that there are many ways in which we can express these theosophical ideas in terms of how we live. And we can do it together, and we can do it with other people, and we can network together to create this unity, which has its own nucleus, in a sense, nucleus. To me, it's about spreading the wonderful divine wisdom of our interconnectedness and inner being, and to live a life that works for the benefit of our own spiritual growth and the well-being of all of nature, humanity, all the kingdoms of nature. And there's purpose in that. There's a sense of I've got a part to play in this networking movement. It fits for who I am and what I'm about. So I think nucleus or nuclei is a good way to show the versatility of our own spiritual growth and our connection to others, and how we can support this idea of the interconnectedness of all beings.
The interconnectedness of all beings and universal brotherhood. Some things that are talked about in Hinduism's highest philosophies and in the doctrines of the Theosophical movement, you could say, and somewhat in Tibetan Buddhism. So, why do I say Tibetan Buddhism? So, it's June 20th, and a few days ago, June 16th, our brother and kind mother, let's see if I can bring him up. Is it here or here? Oh, it's over here. There. So our brother and kind mother, Robert Thurman, passed away. So I asked around. So in this meeting of the Theosophical Society, that would be these guys over here. I'm not sure where that is being held. I know it's in the West Coast, but some of the attendees are on the East Coast. Let's see. So, later in this meeting, there's a quote that is to be read. A quote is being read. Here it is. So, supposedly, Helena Blavatsky said this to William Quan Judge. You could think of William Quan Judge as one of her disciples. And William Quan Judge went on to write some important works, and maybe is important in getting the Theosophical Society going in certain areas, maybe in the US. Oh, and he translated the Bhagavad Gita, so he's quite a scholar, I would think. Oh, and the Yoga Sutras, I believe. Anyway, he's highly regarded, William Quan Judge. William Q. Judge is there. So when Helena Blavatsky passed away, when was it? Let's say she passed away June 1890 some, 91 maybe. So William Quan Judge wrote an article in Lucifer, I guess. Maybe that's a magazine. And so it says that in that article called Years Till Death and After, June 1891. So William Quan Judge recounts a number of personal conversations with H.P. Blavatsky, and when he quotes those conversations, the words are indeed attributed to Blavatsky herself. So he may have not gotten it perfect word by word, but so he may have paraphrased a little bit here and there to the best of his memory. But this is one that he quotes as being her words. It goes like this. I guess it gives me the impression that he's trying to tell her that to tell him. She's trying to tell him that don't worry, be happy. We've gotten things going. Before 1875, there was hardly anything known about Eastern philosophies, particularly South Asian kind, like Hinduism and Buddhism. So, well, there might be some Zen Buddhism and some Theravada Buddhism here and there, but maybe it's mostly ethnic. And there's some scholarship being done, and in Hinduism, like the Bhagavad Gita had already been translated by then. Anyway, maybe Hinduism and Buddhism and meditation and yoga were not household words yet, like it is today. So Helena Blavatsky is saying, when you consider and remember those days in 1875 and after, around 1875, you could not find any people interested in your thoughts. And now look at the widespreading influence of theosophical ideas, however labeled. Wait a minute. Isn't it her thoughts? It is not so bad. And after, so that makes me wonder, Shouldn't she be saying in 1875 and before? So certainly maybe by 1880. But she died in 91, right? Or so. So there's 15 more years to go. What happened then? But when did she say these things? That's what I'd like to know. Hmm. And now look at the widespread influence of theosophical ideas, however labeled. Is it not is it not so bad? We're not working merely that people may call themselves theosophists, but the doctrines we cherish may affect and leaven the whole mind of this century. Wow, and the century is about to end. This alone can be accomplished by a small, earnest band of workers who work for no human reward nor earthly recognition, but who support it and sustained by belief in that universal brotherhood of which our masters are a part. Work steadily, faithfully in understanding and putting forth for considerations the doctrines of life and duty that have come down to us from immemorial time, fault or not, so long as a few devoted ones will work to keep the nucleus existing. You were not directed to found and realize a universal brotherhood, but to form the nucleus for one. For it is only when the nucleus is formed that the accumulations can begin that will end in future years, however far, in the formation of that body which we have in view. Wow. Hmm. 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 So, the passage is HPB explaining to Judge the purpose of the Theosophical movement, the meaning of forming the nucleus of universal brotherhood, why numbers and recognition don't matter, why a small, steady, selfless group is enough to change the century, why the work is for the future, not for applause. This is the most important statements HPB ever made about the actual mission of the movement. It is only one of the few places where she speaks with complete frankness to Judge, not as a public teacher, but as a co-worker. Why the wording sounds like HPB. The tone is unmistakably hers, blunt, strategic, future-oriented, focused on duty, not sentiment, emphasizing the masters and the nucleus, dismissing labels and organizations, insisting on inner motive over outer form. Judge did not write like this. He reports her words, but the voice is hers. In the article Yours Till Death and After, Judge is describing the early days of 1875, the discouragement and isolation they felt, the later spread of theosophical ideas, HPB's private encouragement to him. The quote you heard is part of HPB's explanation of why the movement must survive even if the organization fails, and why the nucleus is the only thing that matters. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, please. Hmm. Mission statement. we you've already built the bridge between HPB's Universal Brotherhood and the Tibetan teaching of all beings as one's kind mother. What you're sensing is not only philosophically compatible, it is structurally parallel. Let me show you how to articulate this clearly, elegantly, and in a way that honors both traditions without distorting either. Start with HPB's mission statement. We are not working merely that people may call themselves Theosophists, but that the doctrines we cherish may affect and leaven the whole mind of this century. What does that mean? So the movement is not about labels, it's not about membership, it's not about organizations, it is about transforming consciousness. It is about universal human solidarity. It is about changing the worldview of the age. That is the Theosophical Society's raison d'etre. D'etre? How do you pronounce that? Now let's look at Bob Thurman's and the Dalai Lama's mission in one phrase. If HPB's mission is universal brotherhood, then Thurman's and the Dalai Lama's mission is universal compassion. That is not poetic, it is literally how Thurman framed it. Compassion as the foundation of ethics, compassion as the basis of interdependence, compassion as the antidote of suffering, compassion as the universal human potential, compassion as the leaven for the modern world. Thurman repeatedly said that the Dalai Lama's global message is compassion is the new realism. That is almost identical in structure to HPB's. Brotherhood is a fact in nature. Both are ontological, not sentimental. So the Tibetan Kind Mother teachings as an advanced form of universal brotherhood. You're absolutely right. The Tibetan teaching that every sentient being has been one's mother is not a sentimental metaphor. It is a cosmological and karmic assertion. It rests on three premises: beginningless time, finite number of sentient beings, infinite permutations of rebirth relationships. Therefore, every being has been your mother, your child, your sibling, your enemy, your lover, your friend, countless times. This is not nice. It is mathematically inevitable in Buddhist cosmology. And the strongest karmic bond is motherly kindness. Thus, the Tibetan practice to see every being as your kind mother, remember her kindness, feel gratitude, wish to repay it, extend compassion universally.